Oh, part 2. Screw them. Because people that want to scheme and scam and all that other stuff, I don't mess with them. I don't even deal with them. And if I can see their account name, I'll damn sure tell other people not to deal with them as well. Because word of mouth and your friends network can ruin a person on Battle.net quickly as far as their trading abilities. Because people do pay attention to that. They know who's who as far as account names go. And they'll remember, go, oh, that's that little fucker that was trying to get over on CraftChest and whatever. So there you go. Another thing that you have to watch out for, like Callsign was talking about, was the torch trades and anti-trades. Yeah, just be careful with that. Best thing in the world to do is just try to get it legit, or go to d2legit.com and get your own from there if you got the PayPal hookup. Now, we try to do everything legit here. There are times where we need a low rune and go get one for what? They're $1.99 falling off the tree sometimes. Really cheap there, but that's usually the only thing that I would ever suggest getting there. And when you do get them from a site, if you happen to get runes from a site, don't get them till you're ready to equip it, because you can get to a site. D2 Legit supposedly is 100% legitimate items. That's why they call themselves D2 Legit. But I don't ever chance it. If you're going to make a rune word or whatever, go ahead and be ready to do it. Have your gear, have your game set up, have your multiple PCs or your friends there, and go ahead and equip the runes, make the rune word, be done with it. Because once the rune word's locked in, it's not going to go poof. The worst case scenario that I've seen on a person before, supposedly, was that their whole item went poof, which is not possible. I think something actually happened with that.
Unless they got it, if they didn't make it themselves and they got it pre-made, it is possible that it was duped. But even if your base armor is duped and the items that you're going to put in it are duped, once you actually socket it, it becomes something else entirely and is no longer going to poof on you.
Right. So there you go. And let's see. Let's move on to items. Hey, look, I'm naked. She's glitched. I didn't even notice that. Not, I'm literally, my sorceress is. I didn't even notice. On my screen, I see my gear, and on her screen, it looks like a level 1 source. That's pretty neat. But anyway, talking about items to trade, lum runes are pretty common trade, but they're mid to low. Those usually get you something like, what's an example? Like Littlest Eye or something like that, maybe. Yeah. Which I just so happen to use on this chick here. Just for the skill and faster cast rate. I could use a Spirit Shield if I wanted to.
Need a lot more strength.
Yeah, but the strength requirement's way jacked up on that, and that's why I went with the Littlest. Runes are pretty good to trade for. That's like a mid to upper rune, not a high rune, but close to it. The Commerce used to be, which we haven't been on here trading a whole lot lately, but the Commerce used to be, like I said in the beginning, the Ist rune was the $20 bill of Battle.net. And what was it? For a high rune, used to be, I don't know if it still is now, but I'm sure there's still people out there with that mentality of it, but 2 Ist used to be the equivalent of a high rune.
Yeah, but now duping is so massive.
Yeah.
You can trade Ist for any high rune.
Ist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So Ist is like the equivalent of people are looking at that like a high rune now?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Alright, so there you go.
As a matter of fact, Maul runes most often can be traded for a high rune.
Really?
Because of all the massive duping. It's harder to find a Maul rune than it is to find a high rune.
Well, there you go. You heard it. Another thing that people look for are skill GCs. Once you get your character level up, skiller lifer GCs can get you a lot of money on Battle.net.
Depending on what the skill is.
Depending on the skill. Life. Say, for instance, just hypothetically, once again, I don't have one on her, I don't think.
I have lifer GCs on my...
You have one? You're going to go get it? All right, let's wait on... Yeah. I'll wait and splice this in. Alright. So throw one of those good ones up there. Alright, so let's take this one for instance. This is a 1 elemental druid, 44 to life, Grand Charm. Tell them how much they can get for this.
There's not enough space for high runes in the inventory. Right,
there you go. These right here are the rarest of the rare as far as finding, trading for, even buying. You're going to pay mad money for one of these things. But if you do enough trading and you have enough, I don't know, go-throughs, like if you use JSP or...
Which is what I do, by the way. All these charms that I have, my lifers, are from trading on JSP.
So JSP is useful for something. You do have
Absolutely.
you have to be, you know, active on it to get your forum gold and all that good stuff, and you have to be part of guilds or...
You don't have to be part of guilds. JSP is, to me, one of the best sites out there for people who play Diablo because, you know, people like me who, you know, don't have all this money to go spend on sites to buy what I want or, you know, all the time in the world to play because I live in the real world and I have a job that takes up a great amount of my time. JSP allows you to trade a lot of your smaller items and just build up your forum gold until you are able to, you know, buy the things that you really want. You can save up, so to speak, you know. Someone with a 44 to life, 1 elemental grand charm is not going to take, you know, 98 Oculuses for trade for the charm, but on JSP, you know, you can go on there and trade all these smaller things, you know, such as that, and save up. And you can also trade your non-ladder gear for forum gold and use your forum gold to purchase your ladder gear, which is something I also do.
Well, tell us how that works on JSP exactly. I mean, what is a step that a person would take to get involved with something like that, to trade for realistic items? Just briefly.
Well, the first thing you'd have to do is go to d2jsp.org and make an account.
Make an account.
Is, of course, free. It's got all kinds of forums. There's guides for building characters. There's trading forums. There's just general discussion forums. There's all kinds of information on this site. But you would just go to your trading forum, you know, depending on which realm you're on. US West, Europe, US East, and then you pick whether you're ladder or non-ladder. You basically just go, make a topic. For example, you know, elemental lifer GC for 400 forum gold, which is about what they go for. You know, of course, if it's high life, not if it's low life. But
right.
So you would make that topic, and then people would post. Or you could just let them bid on it until you get the highest bid. So
it's kind of like the virtual eBay of D2.
Basically, yeah. You can make a buy it now, which is called a BIN. BIN is the abbreviation that people on JSP use for buy it now items. Or you can just leave it open to bid, where people just bid on it. There's basically no rules as far as that's concerned, but if you say something, stick to it. Don't say, okay, my buy it now price for this charm is 200 forum gold, and then you have someone overbid, you know, say, oh, well, I'll give you 205 forum gold for it. Don't do that. That's very bad manners. That's not cool. Most people, if you act like that in the forum, will not trade with you anymore.
There you go. You heard it. Now we have a trading corner on the CraftChest Nation website. I'll post a link over to the side for everybody to go there. It's not as active as a site like that. As a matter of fact, the site pretty much, for whatever reason, summertime came and everybody stopped really participating in on the forums. But absolutely go to the CraftChest Nation website because there are people there that trade as well. It hasn't been as big as these other sites. One day we might be. But it's not going to go off of forum gold. It's mainly just going to go item for item. Basically, it was just, you know, I'll give you a high Archon plate Enigma for a lifer GC or whatever. You know, something like that. 15 ED or whatever. Actually, it probably would be a pretty good trade if it was a mid lifer. Mid to low, probably low 25 or less, but probably worth that. Archon plates.
A 25 or less lifer GC is honestly not worth that much because someone that's going to be looking for lifer GCs and willing to give up the extra amount is really not going to be looking for anything less than 30 at the bare minimum.
Okay, I got you. All right, so there you go. And is this your wind druid?
Yes, it is.
Oh, we might have an episode coming up because I've had several people wanting to know about a wind druid. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the same guy that could, in theory, actually do PvP. He needs to be tweaked a little bit, but he couldn't, in theory, be PvP.
I use my druid mainly for PVM. It would not be hard to get a little bit of extra gear to switch him for PvP. The only thing is being PVM, I didn't really put much into his block.
Okay.
So if I were going to make him PvP, I would have put more towards dexterity.
I hear you.
Block.
Okay. All right. But anyway, we'll visit this guy and maybe have her as a guest there to tell you about that for your blog. Maybe how to make it both ways.